Bit difficult to line up with all the cars here exactly, but this is the storms in 2014 that caused a lot of damage. And there we go. Those waves were 2014, as I say, and I do remember that. So I don't remember the before that thing was built of poly steps, but I do remember those storms. Awful few days they were. A lot of mess afterwards as well. Then and now, back to 1936, when the Bella Vista on the left there used to have the sign saying Bella Vista on it across the front. Here we go. Slightly different with the new seafront, of course, but that was 1936. Got other things I can do instead. Yes, that then and now of the lighthouse from the beach. We'll just have to wait for another day. No ice creams for sale today, I'm afraid. Captain's table is open again, which is good. Just a little breezy on the prom here, which is a shame. I'm going to head down there towards what was the Royal Hotel, which is now Royal Flats or Royal Court. Anyway, we're going to go back to when it was the hotel. Think about that, going down there. I'm quite honest and tell you this is not going to be the most spectacular then and now you've ever seen, by far. In fact, you have to use a little bit of imagination and take my word for it. But here we go, Royal Court. Was the Royal Hotel. Let's go back to 1936. There we go. That was 1936. It's all right. So as near as I can get it, because of the fact I don't want to be standing in the water, I'm going to take you back to 1890. Lighthouse was of course built, which you'll see in this picture, but at the same time the old wall had fallen down. There'd been a really bad storm, so there's a load of blokes fixing it. No concrete in sight. Lovely. Crazy to think it, eh? 1890. (1936) again, taken from roughly here. Of course there's no bus station, there's no electricity buildings there, or whatever they are, power things, but the Bella Vista's there on the end, and the line of the seafront is where it should be, and it's roughly it here. So 1936, there you go. So I'll come back across the road now to give you a better idea of the area if you're not familiar with it. But you've got the very first house there is the Bella Vista, next to what was the old Spanish Cellars Inn and that. And of course in that other picture you've got the Esplanade Hotel, which is where that car park is in front of the fish and chip shop, which has gone a long time ago. But if you search Esplanade on the channel, you'll find it then and now with a couple of nice pictures of it. Quick then and now from 1927. Why not, eh? Here you go. And that was Newton Station in 1927, along with what was that house there, was what it was in the photo. There we go. More to come. Stay tuned. Here we go. Another then and now by the War Memorial, undated. And I'm just going to go and line it up again a bit further down for an even earlier one. There you go, even earlier. If I find out the dates, I'll put it on the video. So there we go. And that's my dentist over there, which I'm going to go in and see in a minute. So, I'll see you when I come out. Bye. I know we've done this one before, but not everyone's seen it, so we'll just do it again when I think of it and happen to be walking past. Before Leander Court, old Morgan Giles Shipyard. That building there with the pointed roof to it directly ahead is in the picture as well. Anyway, Morgan Giles. Over there, past the bowling green, those houses, that's Dane Crescent, yeah? And over there is the pavilions. Now, what I want to do is to shoot down through there and show you 1947 when it was snowing. However, I can't line up the exact shot because the Halula bar is in the way and the pavilions as well, but you can see behind the pavilions because they aren't there in this shot from 1947 when it snowed. Yay! So again, that was the bowling green when it snowed. Where the pavilions is now was the original bowling green pavilion itself, which was later demolished and turned into the Carlton Theatre and replaced by the building there where the Halula bar is on the top of. Anyway, there we go, 1947 in the snow. As we know, there used to be a tree in the triangle many years ago, but before that it used to be a bus shelter and a seating area, and there were roads all around it. And from one of the windows, one of the places up here, possibly there actually, yeah, this is about right. So from up here, looking down like that onto the triangle, you can see Maynard's, which is Beerbury's now, just at the corner. The old logo on W.H. Smith's shop, which is right in the centre. That, the Scott Richard Solicitors next to Smith's, which is now, was then a bank. And there were toilets at either end, ladies this end, gents the other, and the bus shelter. And I think there was some sort of parade going on. So there we go, that's what the triangle used to look like when I was younger in the mid-80s. And I liked it, to be honest. Can't get this one exactly because the shape of the beach has changed slightly since 1905, but we're focusing on the Ness, we're focusing on the Ness Hotel, and we're going back to 1905. Here you go. Well, that's it today. Wide angle, and again in 1905. Beach Court used to be Beach Hotel. Here it is, many years ago. So that was Beach Hotel. Right by the beach. Of course, all this wall wasn't here, just went straight down onto the beach. (1892) 2005. Right, well, we all know from previous videos that there used to be a signal box up here just past that signal that's there now. But however, whenever I show you a picture of it, it's usually something romanticised, an oil painting perhaps, or there's a wonderfully beautiful steam train coming past it, etc, etc. And obviously that's not how it was on a daily basis. It was a working signal box. So here's a picture of it romanticised. And coming up in a sec, I'll line it up. Here's a picture of it being used on a daily basis, up close. Okay, so the signal box would have been over there, roughly where that yellow thing is. And here's a shot of it up close and personal, back when it was a working signal box. Now I absolutely cannot line up the next shot, but you'll see why, because I've got a shot of the signalman, and to line up the next shot I'd have to be standing in the middle of the train tracks, which I don't think I'm going to do today, but here we go. So there we are, that was 1902, if I didn't mention it, but I didn't mention it before, but 1902 that was. I'll put it on the pictures anyway, in the edit. Right, time to head back. Okay, so I did the other day, one looking down from a window into the triangle, and it showed the shelter, the bus shelter and the toilets. It is a slightly different one, again from above, but it shows inside the bus shelter at the benches. A little bit of dark partners before they rebranded, and of course Beer Breeze is no longer Maynard's as it was. It's now turned to Teen News, I think, and this was 1990. Here we go. Well, I certainly remember that triangle bus shelter. And the toilets were very convenient too, and of course it was roads all down the sides here. Yep, remember that well as I grew up in Teignmouth. Back as late as the 1960s, that road there where the car's going was the main road through Teignmouth. There was none of the new road had been built then. That wasn't built until the early 70s, mid 70s. So every main bit of traffic between Teignmouth and Dawlish came down around this junction. And what's more, it was actually a two-way street with buses. Yep, I'm going to show you some buses and that tomorrow, coming both ways, and a couple of other shots of it. But for now, I wanted to discuss the fact that there used to be a policeman on duty here conducting the traffic 24/7. Or when he wasn't on duty, there used to be another person doing it, specifically just to stand on this corner and do traffic. So here's a picture of him doing it. What I wanted to draw your attention to though is actually what was over there in the photo. You may or may not have noticed it, but it was the title of this video, and it was a large concave mirror, a huge feature of this end of town that was here for years. So when there wasn't someone on duty, people could see the way around the corner. So that was the Teignmouth mirror. Would have been positioned roughly there where that manhole cover is, give or take. And let's have a look at it from a different angle. Here we go from this angle. Notice the post in front of me and that sign over there that says zone ends. That's roughly where the mirror would be. And here it is with the chap conducting the traffic and the mirror in shot. And that was in the late 50s. But let's have a close-up of the mirror itself, because it became quite a feature and a focal point. Here you go. Now, side note, Finn McCall's used to be a garage, but we'll get to that in another video. But that was the for today. But remember this area, because we're going to be back here tomorrow for some shots of the buses coming both ways, up and down the road, etc. Here we go, shot number one as near as we can get it, because the wall has changed and the set of gates have gone from up here. But you can see the two gate posts just down there, they'll come into it. And here's a bus coming around the corner just down there. Well, there we go, pretty crazy. So we all know buses come up, let's see it come in the other way. Here we go, here's a bus coming out the other way, exactly the same place. And as you can see, the policeman conducting the traffic. Wouldn't it be nice if we could like walk into the picture and take a closer look at that lovely gentleman conducting the traffic up close? Well, why not? This is my new phone, we can do anything. Here we go. And then in the centre we can see where it used to say Beach Hotel above those windows. It's gone now, but that's where he stood doing his traffic. Anyway, let's get on with my walk, eh? Woohoo! The old Spanish Cellars building next to the Bella Vista over there. Certainly coming on, where they've surfaced the new parking area and made a little garden area there. Now back in the day when this was the Spanish Cellars, that was the entrance to the bar. Go down these steps, that was a beer garden. I think that was a beer garden over there as well, it wasn't quite so high. And you go in there for your drink. The Spanish Cellars. Haven't got any pics of that, I don't think. If I have, I'll have a dig around when I get home and see if I can get something, even if it's not the exact lineup. Here we go, roughly from here. The old Morgan Giles Shipyard in the 1970s at night. Well, there we go. I thought it was relatively interesting. As near as I can line it up, this would be Northumberland Place from approximately here, give or take tuppence, in 1933. Note the church, which is behind that tree, clearly visible in the photo as the tree isn't there. And 1933 Northumberland Place. Here you go. And so much has changed, yet so much remains exactly the same. Isn't that mad? Anyway, off to Lidl's. Okay, so I invite you to come back with me to April in 1990. Not a million years ago, but 32, 33. And here's the bridge being built. Hopefully you will manage to pause that, read a little bit about it. But if not, don't worry, going to flash it up again now, get ready to pause. 1967, the Royal Hotel, some sort of publication. Not sure if it's an ad in a newspaper or if it's like an internal thing they publish themselves to give to people within the hotel. Anyway, here it is. So that's from 1967. Crazy. So there's the breakwater that used to be there with all the Ness around it. Wonder what it looked like when it was all in one piece. Wonder no more. Here we go. Don't have a date for that, I'm afraid, but that's what it used to look like on both sides. Here we go, we're back to the 15th of April 2011, when local window cleaner Ray Stapleton, who's still going strong today, was cleaning the clock, and for some reason that was deemed to be newsworthy and put in a newspaper. So here it is. Yep, same clock, same place. And I've got one more for you, which I've got to go move across to get the right angle. And on the 8th of the 7th, 2017, the clock was running slow. So somehow that made the paper as well. Here's the clipping. So there we go, a couple of then and nows of a clock that's been here all my lifetime. All good. Here we go, W.H. Smith's, the Royal Library. Here it is in 1903. And that's probably one of my earliest picks of W.H. Smith's, but we will be returning here in the future because I've got plenty more, but that's possibly the earliest, 1903.